What I mean by language gap is the gap between the language that a child's mind is used to using in their everyday life experience and the language that's in the book that they're starting to read with. The bigger that gap, the greater the difficulty, the greater the challenge, the more brain work involved in kind of bootstrapping into it. This ranges, by the way, from, for example, the child that grows up in a low-income area in a family whose parents use language in a sloppy or slurry or imprecise or radicalized or over-dramatized. However kids learn to pick up language in their environment, that's the language that they're used to. And those idioms, that particular vocabulary, those ways of speaking, those ways of emphasis, the further the text that they're starting to read is from engaging the language they're used to, the more difficult it makes the challenge of learning to read. And this is true for variations of English and pidgins and all the other creoles and all the other linguistic variations of the English language, different accents, etc., as it is for different languages. Like a kid that's trying to come in and learn to read English even though they can't speak it yet. Right? So the greater the gap between the language that the child's mind's accustomed to and the language that they're being asked to read in their beginning reading text, the more brain work's involved in the challenge of learning to read. So ideally, we would like to have a stairway into reading that was using the same vocabulary, as close to the same vocabulary as possible, that was using the same idioms and modes of emphasis and story constructs and themes. And the more that all that's relevant to the child's experience, their background experience, their knowledge, their concepts, their vocabulary, then the more easy it's going to be for them to step up into the reading process.